Stop killing children. You know the world has gone crazy when simple statements become controversial. This is not controversial, though it's perfectly right to everyone's conscience. That being true, I'm certain that some will hear that and think, bigot. What does it say about a culture when a large swath of the population thinks that stop killing children is an unreasonable and unloving request? But that is the American or Western culture that we live in. If you think, didn't the Supreme Court overturn Roe versus Wade? Then you'd be right. But did you know that abortions actually increased after Roe was overturned? In March of 2025, over 85,000 abortions were performed, and in 2024, over 1 million abortions were performed in the United States. When you consider the amount of medication-induced abortions that were not reported, the number may be even higher. To put this into perspective, that would be if a third of the population of Mississippi were murdered last year. And if this rate continues, it would take less than 6 years to reach the devastating numbers seen in the Jewish genocide during the Holocaust. And don't forget, abortion is the murder of children. So take those numbers I just mentioned and remember, those numbers are referring to children. And before you argue that abortion does not kill a child, know that science does not affirm this. The scientific position for literal millennia was that it was maleficence to give a woman any medication to cause an abortion. Also, anyone with a high school education knows that when conception occurs, a child in the womb occurs. We can alter language and speak in terms of reproductive health and freedom in an attempt to convince ourselves that we are not barbarians. But every time a child is murdered in the womb, we find that we are sicker than we could imagine and slaves to the God of this age. So I have a simple solution. Stop killing children. I'm not crazy for saying that. This is not an extreme position. Stop sending murder pills in the mail. Stop allowing doctors to legally murder children. This is the only tenable position for any sane society, and it's the only position for Christians. Rescue those who are being taken away to death. Hold back those who are stumbling to the slaughter, Proverbs 24:11. Abortion is the opposite of the Christian message. The gospel is that the strong one came to die for the weak. Abortion is that the weak must die for the strong. As Christians, we must speak out and work to actively end the murder of the innocent. I cannot comprehend the moral spinelessness of a legislature that could end abortion but won't. I don't follow the logic of those who claim to be people of science and liberation and progress, who want to take us back to the pagan rituals of child sacrifice. And I refuse to accept the redefinitions of health and freedom to speak about the atrocities committed in abortion. I want to hold out the gospel message to those who have been deceived by the abortion complex and remind them that Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners. There is grace and forgiveness through the one who died for the weak and ungodly and who rose in glorious power. May God have mercy on us all. Go read this article at jacobrcrouch.wordpress.com to see more facts.